Hello everybody, my name is Nathan Powell. I'm a registered behavior technician in Northern Virginia. I originated in the special education field as a special education teacher in Tampa, Florida, and today I'm here to talk to you about rate versus frequency. So frequency is just the number of times something happens. So if you're doing some frequency recording on the number of times you blew your nose in a certain day, or number of times you blew your nose, you would, every time you blow your nose, and then you would make a tally. That happened once, and then you do it again, it happens a second time. That is frequency recording. You're just recording the number of times something happens. You're not talking about how many times it happened over a certain span, because that then would become rate. Rate is the frequency over time, over a specific amount of time, whether it's minutes, hours, or even a session, frequency over a session. That would then become the rate of time. So, for example, if you are traveling, you can tally the number of miles you travel, which would be frequency. So if you live in Tampa and you traveled to Orlando, then you would say, I traveled 60 miles. That would be a frequency count. Now if you said, I traveled from Tampa to Orlando in an hour and 10 minutes, you would say, I traveled 60 miles in 1 hour and 10 minutes. So if you calculate the number of miles you travel per hour, that would be the rate. If you're just saying, I traveled 60 miles, that would be a frequency count of how many miles you traveled without putting the amount of time, which would then put the rate. One example of kind of changing the project that we have done from frequency to rate is originally we just put in our graphs session number 1, and we would put 7. The occurrence of the behavior was 7. Now, you can kind of say it was rate because it was 7 per session, but the way the graph looked, it was just 7, and it wasn't defined how long a session was, how many intervals were in the session, it just said 7. Now, with our updated graphs, we have rate, which would be how many occurrences of the behavior per minute. So we had 12 15-second intervals, which would then make it 3 minutes. And so we broke it down to number of occurrences per minute, and that gave us the rate of the behavior over the 3 minutes of our recording of our behavior. So the behaviors that we were looking for were hand fidgeting, face touching, the misuse of the term like, and swaying. So those were all things that we were tracking, and then we were putting the information at a rate of how many times we were doing those behaviors per minute.